Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. So, we've got a new surprise for you guys. This is the Dave Mustaine Dean Zero in Death We Trust version. They also have a few other versions, including the Angel of Death. I would love to have that one, but it's such a cool graphic. But this was cool too, and I saw this in the pawn shop in North Bay, like virtually about 2 years ago, and they wanted like $170 for it, and I'm like, not gonna happen from me. You know, it is a left-handed guitar because I do play lefty. I also play right-handed, but I only have one right-handed guitar, and it's gonna stay that way. But anyways, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just let it sit. It'll go down eventually, And then it went to 129 finally, and I'm like, okay, still too much for me. I'm only willing to pay tops $80. And my theory is, if it's meant to be, it's going to be mine. Eventually, it will, and it's always panned out that way. That if it's meant to be, it'll be mine. I'll be taking it home. So I went in better part of the week and saw they took it down to $80, and I'm like, told my wife, if it's still here on payday, it's coming home. And sure enough, it's here. So I went in Friday, bought it, and paid $80 Canadian plus tax. And the problem with this guitar was not the finish crack. They, of course, probably suspected that's the neck joint letting go, and it's actually not. It's just a finish crack. There's nothing wrong with this neck. It is like perfect. Where the problem was all three pots are shot. The three-way switch was shot pretty well. And, of course, the input jack was just horrifying. Somehow some tinfoil found its way in there, and in and out with a jack, it's embedded itself into areas. So I figured, I'm just put all brand new stuff. So in went 3 brand new pots, a brand new switch, as well as a new jack. And I put some better wiring on the jack than what was there from the factory. And the thing is just, like, awesome. Like, this is definitely a worthwhile guitar. Let's get some distortion going. This is called metal distortion. So this is an acoustic simulator. That's bridge, so both. just clean channel. Anyways, it's a fantastic guitar. I didn't have to adjust the truss rod. The intonation was dead on. Didn't even have to adjust the bridge angle, except for just a little teeny smidge on the high end. And that was it for that. But the intonation, no. Neck, no. Didn't have to do anything there. All new pots, new switch, new jack, and she works just like brand new. Tuners are a sealed styled tuner, so they're like good quality tuners. They're not garbage. Yeah, overall, I think I more than got my money's worth for $80. I don't think I've ever actually bought a left-handed guitar for $80 before. Come to think of it. No, I don't think I have. Especially something that's actually worth like literally almost $1,000 new, you know. That's just a phenomenal price. It does sometimes pay to go and see these little gems in pawn shops, you know, like you never know. Like even all the frets on this thing showed zero wear, like not even a divot or a scratch mark. So whoever owned this thing originally, I don't know how they messed up the pots, the switch, and the jack, but, you know, they managed to somehow. But I don't think they ever really played it at all, you know, and it does have medium jumbos on it. And with that, of course, you know, when you have thicker frets, you do have to have a much lighter touch, you know. And this is a heavy metal guitar, but even the pickups, they're not as raunched out as I thought they would be. I thought they would be like really muddy, you know, like really dirty, and they're just like just nice, you know. They're not tinny, but they're not too like they're not overly bassy. You know, they're not over bassed, they're not over midded, they're not over trebled. They just got a really nice sweet balance to them, you know. And I was like, wow, that's like really cool. And I think these are also, if I remember correctly, according to the specs, they're the Dave Mustaine pickups, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. I mean, everybody knows Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Now, I am not a Megadeth person. I don't listen to Megadeth. To be honest, maybe I should check out some of their stuff. But I didn't buy this guitar because it's a signature series and it's got his name on it and all that crap. I bought this thing because I liked the look of it. You know, the looks is what appealed to me. When I first saw it, I was like, that is so sick. But I'll never enter church with it. It might spontaneously combust. You know, and also they might have to call in an exorcist or something because, you know, this is just like a little bit of an, you know, ungodly side. I'm a human being. I may be a born-again Christian, guys, but I'm also a human being, and I have a taste when it comes to my gear, and I like stuff that is unique too. I only played around on this thing, you know, just twiddling out, you know, some stuff like this at the pawn shop without even trying to plug it in. I didn't even care. It said for parts. Who knew, right? I thought, wow, that's a nice neck. You know, for a D neck, it's great. The guitar is lightweight. It's all mahogany, which is kind of really nice too. Kind of like my SG is all mahogany. I like the bound fretboard. It's kind of nice. You know, they did a really nice job, like with the main finish itself. Although the finish is a millimeter thick, which I found that out because it's got a little christening mark on the back tip here. And you can see the finish is literally like a millimeter. Like whenever they knocked this thing on, it didn't disturb the wood. You know, it just disturbed the finish, and that's like literally about a millimeter thick, maybe a little thicker. So just crazy thickness on the finish. So I think that was a little low on the overkill side because you don't need a finish that thick. But I like the tuners on it too. For me to buy a guitar, I have to like how it looks, how it plays, and generally how it sounds. But I figured, I saw a couple of videos. I had an idea of what it would sound like, and I've always been wanting something a little bit more on the metalish side over my Court. Now, my Court now has a set of Alnico 5 Zebra pickups in it. And I like those pickups, actually. They're really great. I like the stock pickups, too, because they were really muddy. But this one is kind of like a nice balance, It's not too much of anything or too little of anything. So it's kind of like they did a really good job when they made the pickups on this thing. So I'm quite impressed with that. I'm actually impressed with the entire guitar, to be honest. For what these things sell for new, it is an amazing instrument. It really, honestly is. And I think it's great. And you can really bend the snot out of the strings on this thing, and it stays in tune really good too, so that's another bonus. But yeah, overall, awesome. I did also, one other thing, I had to fix a strap pin, but it was no big deal because I put Shaler strap locks on this thing, because this is one of those things where it's kind of set up like the SG on the back, And so you don't want your strap to fly loose on you and your guitar go crashing. So all my electric guitars actually have Shaler strap locks right now, except for my bass guitar. I originally bought these for my bass, but I haven't played my bass in a long time, so I figured, well, I'll throw them on this guitar, I can always buy more Shaler locks. No big deal. And the action on this thing is actually really good. It's not too high, but it's not as low as I would normally have it. I would actually have it less than half as high as what it is now. But I like where it's set for this guitar, and that's actually good because it's not high, it's not low, it's not quite a medium above my norm to where I normally set it, so it's actually quite nice. It's got just a wonderful setup. And doing Barre chords is so easy. So, overall, I would put this guitar, for you star rating fanatics, I would put this thing at a really good solid 4 out of 5. I mean, if you like the Explorer style body, but you also can't afford a real Explorer, because, man, I was looking at a Gibson Explorer and I saw the $4,000 price tag on the one I was looking at, and I'm like, not gonna happen. I need something different. And when I'd come across this, okay, so it's pointier than a normal Explorer. I mean, they had to make some changes to avoid getting sued by Gibson, right? So it's a little pointier, which is fine. A little different headstock. Still an inline 6 either way. But generally, you do have, really, an Explorer here. With a cool graphic. I really love it. It's crazy. But, and I like the setup. I like where they've put the controls. I like the fact that the switch is completely out of my way, so it's not going to disrupt me one bit. So that's also great. And they're really clean. So that's where I'm at. Is solid 4 out of 5. I mean, granted, guys, I paid $80. I did have to do a little bit of work, but even the parts only cost me like $15 tops for all the parts. I buy stuff in bulk because I fix guitars too, so it's virtually pennies a part in some of my parts. But I mean the switch. I paid $10 for the switch, so but it needed a new one, so I put a new one in. But I also put, new pots and new jack in there, and it's great. I am running running this, by the way, off the Boss Wireless. Another item which I love. Love the Boss Wireless. So great. So if you're looking for something like this, and this suits your needs, they have the Angel of Death. They have In Death We Trust. You can still buy these guitars brand new at a couple places online. And they have, you know, a few other different of the exact same guitar. Like, all the specs are the same except for, at least from what I know, they're the same. Except for, of course, the graphics are going to be different. But, yeah, great guitar, you know. And, hey, if you're a Megadeth fan, why not have a Zero? You know what I mean? But I'm like I said, I'm not a fan. I didn't care about the whole signature thing. I'm just like, I looked at it and I'm like, Explorer style. I like the paint work or artwork. It's a Dean guitar. Dean guitars can be really good. Some of the really cheap ones though are kind of like, bleh, you know, but you get what you pay for. You know, pay more, get more. And sometimes you pay less and get more too, even going brand new. But even for a used deal, I paid extremely less, and I got so much more, which was great. I mean, this thing can play anything. You can play your metal stuff on this, your blues, jazz. Well, maybe not jazz so much. A little bit maybe, but hard rock, soft rock. I don't know about country because I'm really not a country boy, but anyways, it's a great guitar. Take a look at them. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hey, not a bad axe. Not bad. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.